folks, and thanks for tuning in to my 40k for 0.2k challenge for Dumfries Gamers. So a quick bit of background first. I'm Nelson. I help out with the Dumfries Gamers gaming group in the southwest of Scotland, where we host tabletop gaming on a Friday night. If you're in the area and you're looking to throw some dice, then tap us up on Facebook, where you can get a link to join our Discord and join the ranks. So we've got various gaming systems at the club, but the Mac Daddy is definitely Warhammer 40k. So look, Warhammer's awesome, but I think one of the hurdles that can put people off the hobby is that it's perceived, sort of rightly or wrongly, as expensive. So I'm not gonna lie, I think some of the prices you can pay for the models are like extortionate. I mean, even the rules cost you like a fair amount of cash, but my rant on having to pay for rules will be saved for another episode, or we're just going to be here all day. So anyways, so the game is perceived by a lot of people as expensive, but does it have to be, or is it us, the consumers slash plastic crack junkies, that are actually the issue? Is it possible to buy, build, paint and play with an army on a modest budget? So hopefully the challenge is going to help answer this little conundrum. So what is a modest budget? I mean, how much do hobbies actually cost people? So you think golf, that's not cheap. Football, if you got football boots and gear, that can add up to be like eye-wateringly expensive. Console gaming's going to set you back a fair old whack too. So I think when people talk about the hobby being expensive, you've really got to sort of keep it in context. I had a good old think about what's a reasonable amount of cash to start a new hobby in. I think that £200 is a reasonable amount of money to start a new hobby. Some people might be able to spunk that all in one go. Others, it might take them 6 months or longer to save that kind of cash, but can it be done? That's the point. Can it actually be done? Can a newbie really buy, build, paint and compete with a 2k army for less than 200 quid starting from scratch, from ground zero? Well, let's find out. So to measure the challenge's success, there are going to be some rules, so I need to stick to them, and they are as follows. So we've got to have a 2,000 point army. It's got to be painted to a tournament standard, so that's 3 colours and based. It's got to be legitimate, so that means no recasts or proxy or third party. Conversions are allowed, but any parts that I use also have to be Games Workshop models, and I have to have paid for them with the budget. So remember, I've not got like a bits box to dip into. I'm starting from absolute scratch, ground zero. I can sell models to buy new ones, but the postage, selling fees, so etc., all the things that come with selling, they've got to be factored into the budget too. All the materials I'm going to use also have to be bought from the budget, so that's like glue, files, snips, even the dice and the measuring tape, because you need them to actually play the game. I can buy models from any source, so that's online, eBay, Facebook page, a local store. I can also swap models with other gamers, but I can never accept freebies. All the models I get must be gained for a price, so that can be either trade or cash. Under no circumstances can I purchase a ready-made army. The challenge is there to sort of encompass all aspects of the hobby, so going out and buying like a ready-made army off of eBay is kind of like slightly cheating, so I've got to do this alone. I've got to have the codex too, so that I can the rules can be referenced legitimately. And finally, I've got to take them to and win at least one tournament game before the challenge can be finally ticked as complete. So all this has to be done for less than £200. Brutal. So let's turn our thoughts to what army I'm going to actually choose in order to complete the challenge. It's got to be a faction, I think, that already has a 9th edition codex. Having a codex update halfway through is just going to be an absolute nightmare, a real ball ache. So the units will go up and down in price, the data sheets will power up and down. It just seems like it's going to be an absolute hassle, so I can do without that. I also need a faction that I can get models for on the cheap, but I can also do a bit of work for me in the actual game. And finally, I need a faction that I can be painted with basic colours, but isn't going to take away from the overall aesthetic. So you've got to mind on that the paint is also coming out of my budget, so the cheaper the scheme, the better. So there's a few choices around that I could go for. There's like a few factions with 9th edition codexes now, so but I think the only one that can tick all the previous 3 boxes, and there's only one that can do it, and that's Necrons. So the Indomitus box that came out at the start of 9th edition gets you about 1,000 points of Necrons, give or take. So I think that's a great starting point. It's got troops, It's got HQs, it's got elites, fast attack slot options, so a good mix there. Having a quick search online, you can pick that up for about 75, 85 quid-ish. There's also the Imperium magazine that came out, so that had plenty of Necron parts in it too, so maybe some folks just want the Space Marine parts and they don't need the Necron models, so I can maybe get a wee cheeky bargain there. Look, it's not going to be as simple as buying 2 Indomitus boxes and then that'll be done. I need the army to actually win at least one turn a game to prove that I can scrap it with everybody else. So I'll need to do some wheeling and dealing, sort of keeping the models that I think can do a job and then selling the models I don't need to buy the ones that I actually do. So now you sort of all know what the challenge is and what faction I've plumped for. What's my thoughts on the sort of project so far? Well, it's going to be a real ball buster, but I think I can do it. Well, I mean, I guess time's going to tell on that one. Maybe I'm talking absolute bollocks and go like a right daft to come the end, or who knows, maybe I'll come up trumps. We'll just have to wait and see. So I'll keep you posted with the list ideas and purchases and when that happens, and hopefully when it's all done and dusted, it's going to inspire some gamers who thought the game was financially out of reach to give it a real good go. As I say, I'll check back in when there's been some developments. If you like and subscribe to the video, you'll get a wee ping through when the next instalment comes out. But in the meantime, wish me luck because I'm going to need it. So, happy wargaming.